Good morning, children. Welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. You are watching Movements in Living Beings part 3. Children, we have studied about the human skeleton. The human skeleton is divided into two parts. What are they? Axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton, isn't it? So, human skeleton is made up of how many bones? 206 bones. An average adult human being skeleton is made up of 206 bones. The skeleton, which skeleton we are discussing about? The endoskeleton. Then what is the exoskeleton? Exoskeleton consists of hairs, bones, hoofs, horns. Okay, these are all the exoskeleton parts in the mammals, and exoskeleton is derived from the epidermis and dermis, whereas the endoskeleton is derived from mesoderm, an embryonic layer, mesoderm. Okay. So, yesterday we studied about the skull and the parts of the skull. Okay. It is made up of 29 bones. They are fixed. The lower jaw, mandible, it is only the mobile part, isn't it? And the joints which are present in the skull, we are going to discuss today about the joints. Okay, and we yesterday we also discussed about the axial skeleton part, that is rib cage, sternum, isn't it? And the appendicular skeleton part, we discussed about the girdles, pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle, isn't it? The two girdles, the shoulder girdle and hip girdle. Okay, and we also studied about the limb bones. Okay, limbs, the structure of limbs. Limbs of every limb is made up of how many bones? 30, isn't it? Hands are forelimb. The long bone is humerus and radius ulna, then phalanges, okay, palm, wrist, and we discussed about the leg. Femur is the longest bone, then tibiofibula, okay, and in this hinge joint a bone is present. What is that? Patella. This bone is called patella. Okay. So, are you ready, children? Let us proceed today. The third part of the lesson about joints. Okay, in general, a joint, if you take the physical structure also, in order to connect two structures, it is called a joint. A joint is a place where two bones fuse or two bones unite. Okay. So, we can define a joint as the junction between the two bones forms the joints, or it is also called a articulation. Okay. The junction between two bones forms a joint. A joint is a connection between the two bones, in simple words. Joints main function is they permit varying degrees of movements. Okay. In which direction? With the help of these joints only we can able to move our skeleton parts. The joints are classified into three groups. They are immovable joints, slightly movable joints and freely movable joints. Okay. Joints classified into three groups. What are they? Immovable, they are also called fixed. Okay, slightly movable and freely movable joints. So, the study of joints is called arthroscopy. Arthroscopy is the science concerned with the study of joints or articulations. Okay. The articulations of the body are classified into three areas. The articulations of the body, especially human beings, are classified into three areas. What are they? First, immovable or fibrous joints. Immovable joints are called synarthrosis joints. Another name for this immovable joints is synarthrosis. Synarthrosis joints. Synarthrosis joints. The bones that form the immovable joints are tightly joined and are separated by a thin layer of fibrous connective tissue. Okay? For example, skull bones except the lower jaw, mandible, are joined by immovable joints called sutures. Okay? We discussed yesterday that the skull, the bones which are present in the skull, they are tightly fixed. Okay? So, those structures which help in fixing the joints present in the skull are called sutures. These sutures resemble stitches. Okay? So, they are immovable. Okay? Next, so you can see a joint here, the two bones. Okay? Joint capsule, synovial membrane, articular cartilage, it is present here. So, this is the synovial fluid which flows, okay, which lubricates, which helps in the movement. Okay. Next, second type, slightly mobile joints. What are slightly mobile joints? They are also called as cartilaginous joints. The slightly mobile joints are called amphiarthrosis. Okay. Whereas, if you see in the this immobile joints, they are called synarthrosis joints. Immobile joints are called synarthrosis joints, whereas these slightly mobile joints or cartilaginous joints, they are also called as amphiarthrosis joints. Amphiarthrosis joints. The bone forming slightly mobile joints, okay, they are called amphiarthrosis joints. The bones forming slightly mobile joints are separated by a layer of a cartilage or fibrous connective tissue. That is why they are also called cartilaginous joints. Okay. For example, the joints formed by adjacent vertebrae. Adjacent vertebrae means here you can see the joints formed in the adjacent vertebrae contain intervertebral discs. Intervertebral means inter means in between the vertebrae. The discs are present which are formed of cartilage or which are made up of a cartilage. Okay. So, for slightly mobile joints, the joints formed by the adjacent vertebrae containing intervertebral discs formed of cartilage are the examples of slightly mobile joints. This arrangement in the vertebrae allow for limited movement. Okay. So, the arrangement in the vertebral column, that is that allows only for limited movement. Okay. Next, freely mobile joints, they are also called synovial joints. So, amphiarthroidal joints, that is slightly mobile, but here the freely mobile joints, they are called synovial joints because they possess synovial fluid So this synovial fluid acts like a lubricant and allows the free movement of the joints. Okay. The most articulations or joints in the body are produced by freely movable joints. So these joints are called diarthrosis joints. Diarthrosis joints. The ends of the bones forming these joints, freely movable joints, are bound together by an articular capsule formed out of ligaments. Okay. So ligament is nothing but the part which joins two bones is called a ligament, or ligament is a joint, we can say. Okay. So it is a fibrous in nature. Okay, the freely movable joints are also called diarthrosis joints, and they bound together by articular capsule formed out of ligaments. A synovial membrane lines the interior of the capsule. Joint capsule is present now in the first figure we have observed, isn't it? A synovial membrane lines the interior of the capsule and secretes a fluid, synovial fluid. This synovial fluid lubricates the joint. Lubricates means just like oil, it acts like. Okay. In order to run a machine, lubricant oil we apply, isn't it? Whatever it may be the machine. Even for bikes also, for wherever the levers are present. Levers means joints. Okay. So we apply the oil. So in the same manner, in our body also, the synovial joints possess a fluid called synovial fluid which lubricates the joints. The ends of the bones forming the joints are covered with articular cartilage. Okay. The ends of the bones forming the joints are covered with articular cartilage. So it protects the bones and reduces the friction. Okay, for free movement, the friction must be reduced. So this articular cartilage will help in reducing the friction. Okay. So these are all the movable joints. The joint which is present at the shoulder, this is a ball and socket joint. Present at the elbow, hinge joint. Present at the knee, hinge joint is present. Okay. So here gliding joints are present in the ankle and in the wrist. Okay. So like that different joints are present in different locations and they help in different types of movements. Okay, let us discuss more about these joints. The freely movable joints are classified into groups based on their structure and the types of movements. Okay, the freely movable joints are classified into groups based on the structure and their location and function. Next, muscles. So you already studied about these joints in your regular movements in animals. Okay, in that you studied a pivot joint is present in the neck, a ball and socket joint which helps in the movement in all directions, isn't it? Okay, and the joint which helps in only movement in one direction, that is a hinge joint, present in the elbows and knees. Okay. So now come to the muscles. Muscles constitute nearly 40 to 50% of the total human body weight. Okay. Next, these muscles have the unique properties. What are the properties of muscles? They show excitability. Okay, they get excited. Contractibility. Muscles show contractibility, and extensibility. Muscles can show the extensibility, extends. Then they show elasticity. They are elastic in nature. Okay, These 4 are the properties of muscles. What are they? Excitability, contractibility, extensibility, elasticity. These are the 4 properties of or unique properties of muscles. The types of muscles in human beings, there are 3 main types of muscles are present. They are the cardiac muscles, the muscles which are present in the heart, the skeleton muscles, the muscles which are present in the limbs, and the smooth muscles, okay, the muscles which are present in the internal organs. Okay. The muscles are classified into 3 categories: striated muscles or skeleton muscles, then smooth muscles or unstriated muscles, then cardiac muscles, okay, the muscles of the heart. You can see here the difference. Okay, striated muscles, they possess the striations. This is a smooth muscle, no striations. Okay. Let us study about the movement, that is muscular movements. Okay, how muscles move. The muscular movement is the method used in most of the vertebrates including man. The muscular movement is based on the use of muscle fibers. So, muscles are made up of fibers, the fibrous in nature. The muscle fibers have the unique property of ability. So, there are 4 main properties we have seen: extensibility, elasticity. Okay. So, these muscle fibers have the unique property of the ability to contractibility and relax, contract and relax. So, these contraction and relaxation of the muscles will exert a force, creates a force, and this force is responsible for the movement of body parts and locomotion. Okay. So, muscles are attached to the bones with the help of a special structure, connective tissue, that is called tendons. Okay, 2 bones are attached by means of a ligament. Okay, the muscles are attached to the bones by means of tendons. Okay, tendon is a connective tissue. The human movement and locomotion also results from the cooperation and coordination between the muscles and bones. Okay, so because bones alone it cannot help in movement, because bones need some weight on it. So, muscles attached to the bone, the weight is added, so the movement takes place. Voluntary movements, the muscles are again divided into 2 types based on their function: voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles means the muscles which move by our will and wish. Okay, that the muscles of limbs, hands and legs, when we want to move, we can move. So, such muscles are called voluntary muscles. Voluntary movements takes place. Involuntary movements, involuntary muscles, the muscles which are present in the internal organs, okay, such as heart. Okay, heart special muscles are present, they are cardiac muscles, and the internal organs like intestine, okay, even lungs. Okay, so they consist of these smooth muscles which help in the involuntary movement. Okay, without our will and wish, their movement takes place. Okay, cardiac muscles are those muscles which function continuously from birth to death. Okay, they are structurally voluntary but functionally involuntary. Okay, so it is must and should, hence the study of both skeletal and muscular system in the body becomes essential to understand the locomotion and movement. Okay, the muscular system further if you study, so in the skeleton system 206 bones are present, but in the muscular system, the human beings, there are 639 muscles, 639 muscles, of which 5 are unpaired and remaining 317 muscles are paired muscles. Okay, paired means together, two like that. Okay, so 317 into 2, that is 634 muscles. Okay, the 317 muscles are paired muscles, so together they form 634, and the 5 muscles are unpaired muscles. The distribution of the muscles in the body is as under given here. So the muscles, if you take their distribution out of 639, the head itself consists of 53 muscles, neck contain 32, back portion contain 180, the breast portion or the chest portion contain 54, the belly portion contain 15, the legs 124, arms 98, viscera internal, okay, internally 83 muscles are present, a total of 639 muscles. They are distributed like this. The muscles exhibit the following characteristics. So they show irritability, contractility, extensibility, elasticity, and tonicity. Muscles can be toned, muscles can be we can change the shape of the muscles by doing some exercise. Okay, you can see some of the muscles here, the deltoid muscle, shoulder muscle. Okay, the muscles are present on the chest, teres major, okay, pectoralis major. These are the main muscles which are present in the chest region. Okay, like this, the muscles are distributed. Okay, so the muscles which are present in the hands are mostly the people who go to gym. Okay, so they develop, the bodybuilders, they develop the muscles of arms, okay, and legs. So muscles can be toned. Okay, so our body consists of several types of the skeletal muscles to perform different functions. So what are those skeletal muscles? The first one, flexors. The flexors muscles help to bend one body part on another. Okay, example, biceps. I told you, no, the hand muscles, the upper arm muscle, it is the bicep, so it come under flexors. Okay, what is the meaning? These muscles help to bend one body part on another. Okay, so here bicep, so this region, it is called biceps. Next, extensors. Extensors means the antagonistics to flexors, means against. So these muscles extend a body part. So here the extensor present the back side, okay, or below the arm. These are present. They are examples, triceps. It is also upper arm muscles only. Okay. Next, abductors. Abductors means they pull away the body part from the median line. Okay, this is the deltoid and trapezium. Two muscles are present here in the shoulder region. They pull away the body parts from the median line. Next, adductors. Abductors, adductors. So what are adductors? They bring a body part towards the body. They bring a body part towards the body, the median line. Okay. The next, so examples for this abductors: latissimus dorsi. Latissimus dorsi, here you can see here below the chest, this latissimus dorsi is present. They are antagonists to adductors, abductors, deltoids, but adductors, latissimus dorsi here, okay, below the chest, the muscles. Next, depressors. Depressors means they are the lower body part. So this depressors, example, mandibularis. The mandibularis is the muscle which is present the lower jaw, okay. So they lower a body part, means due to the presence of this muscle only we can able to move the lower jaw, mandible, okay, up and down at the time of chewing or, okay, talking or anything is possible with the help of this. Next, another type, the sixth one, that is elevators. What are elevators? They raise a body part and are antagonistic to depressors, okay. Example, masseter, it lifts the jaw, okay. Here only it is also present in the face, okay, near mandibular region only. Then supinators. Supinators means these muscles are antagonistic to pronators and turn the palm upward or anteriorly. Example, pronator teres. Pronator teres is here, you can see here in the legs, peroneus longus are present, okay. So pectineus, tensor fasciae, in the thigh region they are present. So here the pronator teres, the palm region they are present, okay. So adductor longus, rectus femoris, so these are all the muscles, okay. They help in different types of movements, okay. Then pronator turns the palm downwards or posteriorly, okay. Example, pronator teres. Sphincters means these are the muscles which are present internally. They decrease the size of an opening. For example, pyloric sphincter in the digestive system, the sphincter muscle is present, okay, a slit like structure which allows a small amount of food from stomach into the duodenum, okay. So that these sphincter muscles decrease the size of an opening, okay. In the rectum also the sphincter muscles are present. Example, external anal sphincter, okay, the muscle which is present in the anus or rectum, okay. Rectum opens into the anus, at that region this sphincter muscle is present, that is called external anal sphincter. Next, dilators. Dilators means they increase the size of an opening. So these are very minute muscles, small muscles which are present, for example, the muscle present in the eye, iris is the structure which okay, allows the okay, which increase the size of that pupil, okay, to allow the more light to pass inside, dilator, okay. Next, rotators. Rotators are the muscles which move a bone on its axis, okay, they help in rotation, the name itself is indicating rotators, okay. Example, obturator externus, and piriformis, so they help in rotation, okay children. So this is the today's class, hope you understood. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.